like a car. He's on that Taylor Swift budget. Darius just saw how many great opportunities he can make while passing out to the corners and thought, maybe I'll make my life a little easier. Dean with the active hands. You hate to see that against Tobias Harris. I like the aggressiveness. The result is unfortunate solely because it is Tobias Harris. How long does it take for Evan to get more involved here? All righty. Mobley is so back. I take back everything. I like Ivy a lot. It's unfortunate he got put in Pistons jail by Monty Williams. Glad JB realized, for all the criticism you could say about JB and his lineups, he quickly identified that Jaden Ivey can, in fact, play basketball, which is something their very expensive prior head coach just couldn't wrap his head around. You would think it'd be the inverse, where JB would love the defensive guard that couldn't do anything on the offensive end. Oh, yep. This is a great version of Garland we're getting tonight. The team is cooking. I'm not saying it's just because Sam Merrill stepped on the floor, but I was paid by Jackson to say that, so I expect my check in the mail. You love to see that, though. The nice thing about the Pistons lineup is they run kind of small right now, so the Cavs could take a pretty good advantage as long as they leave Mobley and Allen on the floor in these bigger lineups. I think they're running Tobias at the 4. It's also hard not to see the dance team now and think of 2K every time when you would play and you're just like, you call the timeout and they give you the 5-second animation of the dancers until you hit skip. It's also hilarious how 2K has the same dance crew and dancing bear every time. It's always the same shows where the people do the dunk, like the athletic dunks off the trampolines. Every 2K, they're like, we've changed everything except our timeout entertainment. It's true, Dan. 2K is struggling for money. They only make money off the physical 2K game. The actual currency you buy in game is not real. So don't worry about it. Just keep putting your credit card through. It bounces back because they're struggling. So has anyone bought the new 2K? Actually, I haven't. I didn't. I've now learned I just don't buy it off release just because it gets cheaper so quickly now. Philly games go on sale and that but maybe like 2 to 3 weeks after you buy them just to enrage you. Like, I didn't buy the new Black Ops game fully knowing by, like, mid-November, it's gonna be half off. NBA Live '08, wow. Is that's not the one with Dwight Howard on it, is it? Because that was the last NBA Live I ever played. You don't remember who was on the cover in '08, dude? Come on. Don't worry, I'm fact checking for you, Dan. No, it is Gilbert Arenas. That ages pretty well for them. I guess Dwight Howard's not much better though. Hmm. Sturdy Stewart. You'll let Cade take those threes, honestly. He's a pretty streaky shooter. There was that huge Ringer article that came out of how he was high usage, low production. You like to see Jarrett getting aggressive in this game. It felt like all of his opportunities in the Raptors game were just kind of easy finishing plays. I like seeing him get aggressive here. But if he misses this free throw, ESPN's going to put him 88th at the midseason rankings. Well, they need him in the top 100 so then people like me can be upset about it. And then they'll put Derek Lively, who didn't even start for the Mavs yesterday, at probably like 32nd because he scored 10 points plus off the bench, like a real hero. Looked like Dean just got subbed out for, oh, I think Niang time's coming. Yep, it's Niang time. We got Garland, Merrill, Niang, I Jarrett, and Karras. Interesting. Dan, I hope you put your money in now. This is the best odds you're gonna get for putting that triple double prop in. Tired Thinking is betting the over under. Wired is betting on George Niang's triple double. Yep. We talked about this in the other stream too. I like we like that Jared Allen's taking these. It's just it still feels like a 50-50 on those. I would love for a like a situation in which I feel comfortable with those attempts. Just like Garland feels comfortable taking those off the screen pull-ups. All right. Oh, nice. Oh, this transition defense is a little rough. This is where the Pistons really hit their groove against the Pacers too. It felt like if you got them in the half court, their offense kind of stalled. But if they were able to get their lanes in transition, with Cade driving the breaks most times too, he has a good way of connecting others. Oh, Karras will be aggressive all the time. Doesn't matter if you're down or up. That's That's for sure. Garland just subbed out. We'll see who's checking in. Evan checked back in, and Mitchell checked back in. Oh my god. I just get so nervous with this team in free throws. They get so streaky. There was that period in nice steal by Merrill. All right, this is what Mobley needs to get going. Yeah, but this team can get so streaky in free throws, which is weird because they do have good shooters. Mobley with the active hands, plucking beef stew there. Take it yourself, big man. Oh my god. And George headbutts Karras. If Tony didn't clip that already, you might see it on his Twitter within the next 5 minutes. It's not the flop Yang clips that Tony loves, but it's still a classic moment. That was a great pass. And you love that Mobley's still being aggressive off ball too. It's not the same looks we were seeing last game, but he's still dialed in. Oh, active hands Niang, baby. Bet JB didn't scheme that up. Was that gonna be a long two? See, Brad even knows. Brad knows ball, dude. He loves Fontecchio. He's been talking about him for months. Take it yourself. Great pass. You don't want Isaiah Stewart to get angry. I hear he doesn't handle conflict that well. All right, see what we got cooked up in this final possession of the first quarter. Here comes this guard off ball screen. We'll see if he pops. Oh, you're trying to cook up Fontecchio. Tragic. All right, let's do a little box score watch. Wish we had like a little music for it. All right, leading the scoring. Garland with 9 with 2 assists. Really, it felt like a lot more. Surprisingly, Mitchell with 5 assists, 0 points. Is Mitchell having a down year? Jared Allen, 6 points. Evan, 7. Dean Wade, 6. What are you guys' thoughts so far on Dean in the starting lineup now that we have kind of seen it for the full last game and to start this game? I feel like it's pretty seamless, honestly. I feel like if the momentum for Wade kind of stays at this level, it would make sense to just keep him in the starting lineup and let Strus come off the bench. But what do you guys think? I know Dan probably wants Niang to start just so his triple dub has a chance here. I think defensively, it's a huge lift for this team too. I think offensively, the aggression's obviously the huge part, but defensively, it he definitely gives this team something that Strus can't, and that's not really a knock against Strus, but this is sentimental. It's kind of hard to give analysis while a dude's crying on stream. Comment in the chat if you're crying in the club right now. Yeah, the Pistons are shooting a little good right now. You would think there'd be some regression there. We'll see what it looks like when the dust settles. But a lot of those points also, like I said, have been coming in transition. The transition defense so far has not been the most stellar. But again, with a team with the talent disparaging between the two, you would think this is just something where as the game goes on, this team should separate. Are we getting our first ice action of the night? Oh, Mitchell has like 4 dribbling sequences a game that you're like, "Oh yeah, this guy is capable of being a top 10 player." Especially offensively. Does he have Dern on him right now? I don't really love this Beasley on Niang matchup. Stick to unbelievable. Jalen Duren obviously didn't watch the film from last game. Oh, all right, Niang. Thanks for coming. Sam, at some point, has got to get going here. The looks are great. I haven't really ever had issue with any of his attempts thus far. But, shooters are streaky sometimes, even if they are Sam Merrill. Luckily, Jackson's not watching, so he can't hear that. Dan, the time is still now. The odds are honestly probably the same they were before the tip off. Opportunity is in the eye of the beholder. Ty Jerome's checked in for Merrill. Dial back your clocks to September, fellas. It's Ty Jerome time. Oh, yep. Off ball retry. Oh. Too much time for Mobley to recover there. Yeah, you could challenge it if you wanted to. But do you really want to use this challenge right now? The Cavs are switching. It's just the Pistons are making shots right now. The half court defense has been fine. Epstein diving. All right, Donovan, we don't need you diving. What a fantastic outlet pass by Isaac Okoro. If that went on for like 5 more seconds, that was easily gonna be like uh the Shaqtin' a Fool segment where they play like the. Yup. I'm glad they cut that clip up so we didn't have to watch the scrambling that took place for right after the block. You'd be surprised though. I mean, Beasley accurately fits the random players that destroy the Cavs on any given night. We usually specialize in that. It's not the players you pay money to see, it's the players that surprise you. So you just randomly hold up a key. All right. You know, I'll give them creativity. Oh, how many people have keys? Oh, please. This kid looks so excited to be on TV. This is truly tragic. How many keys did they hand out? Is wine the password? Oh, that's tragic. He gave that whole spiel too. What if the first person had the word? That'd be so predictable. Oh my god. That's absurd. I'm that woman on the left. I'm like, they really picked gold as the word for money. What's more likely, Dan? Triple double or Malik Beasley missing a shot? Scoring leaders right now for the Pistons are Malik Beasley, who is having an okay night, going for 13 points on 5 for 7 shooting, and Jaden Ivey, who has 11 points. And then Cade. The rest of the team, 5 points total. So that's good to know that you can scheme up a game plan for 3 players and you can go to toe to toe with the whole team. I like that Mobley's aggressive on these, but Duran's not the guy I would probably want to go toe to toe with there. Oh, I feel like the Pistons have inbounded like 9 times already. That's what being in the September blender does to you, baby. Great work, Ty. You know when September is behind you, you better watch out. 9 turnovers for the Pistons, and we're losing by 3. We're just not making the shots. coincidentally against LeBron. Why would you choose that night to celebrate Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse? You didn't want to do it when LaMelo Ball shows up or Jordan Poole? Ton of switching today. I feel like Wade is the sole person who's been told to switch. All right, Ty. Good kick. Yup. All right, put Fontecchio in a blender. Yeah. High pick with Fontecchio. We're trying to put Fontecchio on ice, dude? Mm, mm. He wasn't feeling it that time. We already got our 2 Mobley threes of the day. For those who are new to Cavs, Evan Mobley has a quota where he's only contractually obligated to make 2 threes, usually in the first half, to make you think there's some momentum going, and then not attempt one for the rest of the day. Look at the team deferring to team captain Ty Jerome. Ty, you gotta establish dominance on Fontecchio here. Yup. Yeah, Dean, fight for that. Golf clap for Dean there. Love the effort. Dean the Demolisher, dude. Destroyer is like level 1. Oh my god. Someone check if Tony is conscious. If he hasn't tweeted in the past like 5 minutes, you know he's gone. He's ascended to heaven where you can watch more Ty Jerome. Is Tony alive? Because if so, he can't have loved Ty Jerome that much. Tony tweeted 2 minutes ago. He hasn't tweeted about Ty Jerome yet, though. Yeah, having another point guard on the team would have been pretty cool. This version of Ty Jerome would be an asset on any team, to be honest. I feel like he's just at a different level right now. What they're not showing is that shirt is 100% a Gildan shirt. So if it hits you at the velocity they're firing it at, it might slice skin off. How would you guys like sandpaper from a cannon? I've never caught I've never even been in a section where I could actually get one of these t-shirts. I'm usually like in the nosebleeds. You're already wearing the shirt. All right, Dan, I didn't know you rolled like that. I didn't know I was with some highbrow viewers. Then again, are baseball games that expensive? I don't think so. Oh, well, that's nice. Being in Connecticut, they don't offer that type of stuff because it's either you want to go to a UConn game where they wouldn't bother paying for basketball because that's expensive. So if you want to go to a UConn football game, you could pay $4 and go. You can get pretty close for 10, but why would you want to get closer? Garland got stuck on that screen. Oh, you got Derry. All right. Well, don't need him. Ty Jerome is establishing dominance over Darius. Backdoor cut. I don't know if Ty Jerome won't be in the Hall of Fame before this game's over. I mean, it's pretty easy to make the NBA Hall of Fame right now, but All-Star game is setting our sights too short. Springfield, Mass is calling your name, Ty Jerome. Dude, this is just Ty Jerome's world. We're all living in it. The Ty Jerome exhibit. She doesn't even say the locations anymore. That was like the best part of her spiel. Oh, Jerome. You can't put all that effort in offensively and not have a little lapse defensively. We'll let it slide. He'll just score another three on his own, or just have a great dish to Dean Wade. Dive on that. Yep. You could tell he wanted to shovel past that. Yep. Darius's vision tonight has been so good. It's been so different than what last game's was. All of his passes are primarily to the wings. Last game, it was primarily to the bigs off the roll. Looks like Donovan and Nev are coming in for the last stretch. They better not be subbing out Ty. Actually, do we sub out Ty to preserve him? Oh, God, it's such a question when you have so many assets. What's up, Derp? All right. They're storing the nuclear weapons until necessary again. Dean and Ty are heading to the bench. I guess I'll take Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell. Goaltending, no thank you. They've been trying to get Darius off these off-ball screens. The team's been switching a lot, but it feels like Darius just keeps on getting assigned onto Duran. One more stop, another close on the other end. We could be having ourselves a nice look going into the half. Oh, great pick. Um, that was a confusing sequence. It looked like he thought he was gonna get a chaser on that. Saw no one was right in his lane, and then was like, "I guess I have to lay it up here." So we drew up here. Well, if there was something other than a Donovan drive, I'm pretty sure that Darius and Jarrett tripped on each other on the far end. This is great defense by Jarrett here. Yeah, that's not happening. You know who would make that though? Ty Jerome. Dude, when Darius gets like this, passing the ball, he's just on a different plane. Darius, you don't help. God, he's such a good sport. Helping up Cade after he got his ankles broken by himself. Hmm. Yeah, push. Get out of here, Jalen. Heading up 10 going into the half. That'd be nice. Tell me if Derek Lively can do that sequence. We're celebrating Ty Jerome every day. Oh my god. Oh, that I feel like that could have been goaltending, but all right, Karras, pull up. Oh, um, seems like the scoreboard's a little messed up there, but soft hands by Jarrett there, just lightly caressing it into the basket. Ty, how does it feel to be God? Well, it feels all right. Even God had to rest on Sunday, so I rested all last season. Serena knew there was no way of cracking into Jerome's rough exterior. All right. It's everyone's favorite segment brought to you by no one. It's time to look at the box scores, get a live update here. Leading the team, we have Jared Allen with 12 points. Dean Wade has 11. Mobley has 10. Garland with 9. Ty Jerome, the immortal, with 10. And Donovan Mitchell with 6. Again, I brought it up earlier. Is Donovan Mitchell in a slump? Or is he just realizing that the rest of the team, including Ty Jerome, is just so good he doesn't even have to try anymore? Triple dub watch for Dan is not going well. Niang's got a cumulative 1, a 1-0-0, and the 1 is a rebound. If you want to try to push it, Dan, and say that personal fouls count as a box score metric, you got 1 there too. We might not see Dan after this stream. He might have to foreclose his house and sell his car to pay off this debt. I agree, Spaceman. We do have a squad. This team is playing excellent. It's one of those things, though, where it's early on, so we're not really looking how we can measure these performances against other teams. I think the Pistons are going to be a frisky team in the East. I don't feel the same about Toronto. I think by the next time we play Toronto, their fate might already be pretty evident at this point. But it's nice to see. This is like the performances you want to see against the bottom dwelling teams of the East, especially when you're a team like the Cavs who are trying to position themselves into a top seed in the East. Yeah, a quintuple single. That might even be too bold for you. I don't see a world right now where Niang's going to get an assist or see the floor for that matter. I could be wrong, though. We're trying to celebrate the bench, according to Kenny. Stuff like this is always wild to me. I have such a massive fear of heights. Not saying that I couldn't do any of this. Ty Jerome could, but not me. What are your guys' takeaways from the first half? What's really stood out to you outside of Ty Jerome being Jesus Christ? Let's see if the gonna throw up a poll here. Stay with me. All right, we got a poll. It's one of like the 3 features I'm apparently able to use. I wouldn't be worried about Mitchell, honestly, at this point. It'd be worse if it was a situation in which the Cavs were struggling and Mitchell wasn't really able to step up. It's become pretty clear through a game and a half that the Cavs are really going to try to kind of spread the usage rate around. I mean, last game Mitchell didn't feel like he was dominating possessions, but if you look at the usage rates, he still led the team in that front, even with Mobley kind of having the ball a lot. So I would say it's going to be a case of when the team needs him and he looks like he isn't capable of doing things that we've seen in the past, that I'd be worried. Okoro's minutes going to other players, maybe. Yeah, I think with Okoro, it's interesting. He is kind of a situational player, I feel like. And that's like ideally how you'd want to use him. You don't want to put him into situations where it's like, all right, we really need some volume shooting here. Let's put Okoro in. It's pretty clear that they really still view him as one of their defensive options. And right now, it seems like the Cavs haven't been in a position where they need to make a lot of stops. But you could also argue against that and say that Okoro is a player who kind of rides on confidence, and he's not gonna come into the game very confident if we're playing him such limited amount of time either. So that's fair too. Oh, this is Evan Mobley's 200th career game. What a coronation. Thanks, Cavs Notes on Twitter. Let's check in on the Pistons and see how they're doing for overall. Cade leading the team, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 18 points. Ivy's played pretty well. I've liked how Ivy's looked in this game. Again, though, this is just like another bad bench game for the Pistons. This is what kind of did them in the last game. If I told you Malik Beasley has 13 points, and I told you had to guess how many Fontecchio, Paul Reed, Ron Holland, and Isaiah Stewart had combined, I'll give you a hint. It equals the amount of points Tobias Harris has. If you're wondering still what the answer to that question is, it is 0. Not only is that Tobias Harris signing paying for itself, but the bench, again, is really struggling here. Outside of Malik Beasley. I guess if we're going to refer to the bench of the Pistons, we'll just say Malik Beasley kind of is the bench. That being said, though, I mean, you got Ty Jerome with 10, Karis LeVert with 5, and Okoro with 2. 1 for 1 on those attempts, though. So, Spaceman, maybe this is a sign that he's dialed in. He has 2 rebounds and 1 assist, too. I mean, the assist was the clear outlet pass, but not a case to be worried yet. I would be uneasy, not worried. I know, to think how bad their bench was last year, and now it's Malik Beasley, and the bench production is otherwise the same. You just gotta let the development happen. Monty, I I feel like there had to have been a conversation between the GM and Monty Williams where it was like, all right, so we're obviously trying to get like a high pick here. This is a pretty good draft. Because every GM has to tell themselves it's a good draft, even though it clearly wasn't a good draft. Um, and they're like, since Alex Sarr looks super good, what if we throw out some bench lineups, thinking they're gonna tank for it, and then Monty gets fired, and the bench didn't need to improve because there was no gems there. What do you think ever happened to this guy? Feel like they need to show more regular people in these. I always wonder what a normal person would look like doing these drills. It's easy to look at these like hyper athletic people and be like, that was a pathetic cone drill. It was like my favorite thing that my friends would do. Like it would be the funniest side conversation to observe. Like they'd be watching like NFL combine wide receivers do the cone drill and be like, that was like who'd be on like the high school football team and just be like, that was the most pathetic cone drill I've ever seen. I'd be like, dude, you're like the fourth string wide receiver on our high school team that sucks. Like, why are you telling me that like Mike Williams didn't run a good cone drill? That's terrible form on the bench press. He obviously hasn't been watching any videos. If I had to pick a player that's kind of stood out to me in this first half, there's like a lot of good choices. I think Garland's played very well. Uh not necessarily like scoring wise, but his passing today has been fantastic. I would also say Dean has played very good defense. He does provide a lot of flexibility on the defensive front. He's been switching on to guards and bigs alike and has done equally great defense on both. I would say those two pretty much stand out thus far. Jarrett's having a very good game, a classic Jarrett game overall. Those would be the three players I'd highlight thus far, outside of Ty Jerome. Ty Jerome is already my Gatorade player of the game. Spence Davies getting the shout out on the footage. How come they didn't give Tony that? Let them know, fellas. I know I was like, a part of me was like, how awkward would it be if they whipped out the junkyard chain? They'd be like, some other guy started this, but we thought it would be cool to keep the morale going. So the junkyard dog goes to Lamar Stevens. Um, yeah, Atkinson. You always have to feel good for a coach getting that first win out of the way. It probably feels like a relief, especially in the fashion they won. It definitely had his fingerprints all over it for sure. Yeah, giving the ball to Tyson over Mobley was a little weird of a move. That's like being too sentimental. Kind of felt like the equivalent of like the Bronny LeBron 3 minute stretch against the Wolves, where it was like, this is more for like the moment than the actual results. That Mobley dribble, that there was a similar sequence to this last game where Jackson and I were like, "Well, I guess that's gonna happen." And then Mobley proceeded to, like, absolutely go ballistic for the remainder of the game, so I don't wanna say that this is where Mobley takes off, but don't say I didn't say it. Yeah, that alright, here we go. Yup. Oh. You could tell that Durham was like, "Wait a minute. Oh." I think that's exactly how JB drew that play up. He's like, "All right, Thurn, we're gonna we're gonna give up on what we ran. We're gonna throw it to you to reset. Now you're gonna make it look like you don't remember the rules of basketball. So if you can sell that, I think we're golden." That was good help by Jarrett, but Cunningham loves the mid range. He will compete with the title of most love for the mid range with Levert. Yup, pull it up. It's because of the contract. You can't make more than two, Mobley. I get it. Dude, draft matchup. Don't shy away. Oh, no. Good call by Mitchell there. It's interesting you wanted to say defensive back. I think, the Browns could probably use another receiver, seeing as they lost one. Now that Jameis is there, why Jameis to Mobley? The thing the Browns need is someone who can finagle a way to get out of the Deshaun contract. There has to be some lawyer out there that can read, like, or find some loophole to get out of that. If you look at subsection 4, paragraph F, I mean, all the targets go to Ninjoku anyway, so might as well. I I was gonna say, I don't know why Cade would want a world in which Mobley's his primary on-ball defender. Mm, yep. That's a classic Mitchell look right there. I mean, I'm surprised Darius didn't, follow through on that. He usually loves the sidestep. Wow, Harris just blew by Dean. Oh, now we're cooking. Rip through. Getting Ivy off the floor is huge. Anyone that can get subbed, they're probably actually gonna put Malik Beasley in. I was gonna say anyone that could get more of this, bench. Yep, it's Beasley, so we're just weakening the second unit. No way, Cade. Read the room, dude. Unnecessary. When they show, Garland's highlights in that game, they're gonna be showing that shot conversion. Good start to the quarter, kinda keeping them away, not letting them get on a run of any kind. What do we got going on here? Oh, good. We're just gonna show him that he made a shot with no one in the room versus this poor guy who's never attempted it is gonna attempt it in front of like 20,000 people. Take one, obviously. Can't believe he made that on the first try. All right, back to the guy who's never tried it. Will he do it? Comment down below. Does he have this in the bag? Oh, wow. That could have been us, guys. Why weren't we there to make the shot? Jokic could only score half the points of Holmgren, dude. Is Jokic on the decline? They also could have picked a picture of Holmgren where he didn't look baked out of his mind, but I guess you only get the pictures you have the rights to. Brad, you didn't watch that game. All right. He's probably watching the Food Network. I don't believe that Brad watches other teams. I barely believe he watches the Cavs. No, it's fantastic television. I'm not saying it's not. But when Brad goes, "Oh my God, Chet Holmgren, he's fantastic, man." I feel like that sounds more like Chris Collinsworth than anything else. Here's the thing, Al. Tobias Harris going for his first points of the night, giving the bench a run for its money. If he was on the bench, he'd be the second leading scorer with 1 point. I, for some reason, did not remember Tobias Harris was a Bobcat. I remember him from the Magic. The Pistons being back with Tobias Harris was it felt like the equivalent of like the Dylan Brooks signing for Houston 2 seasons ago, where you're like, well, I mean, someone was going to pay him, but it's going to be the team that has to overpay to get him that will get him. I mean, Tobias is like, you mean I don't have to shoot in playoffs for the next few seasons? Fantastic. I hate shooting. The free throw disparity is wild. The Cavs, while they weren't shooting too hot, they were getting to the line pretty frequently in the first half. Spaceman, every game for Philly was rough. I feel like the most common thing I ever saw on Twitter from Sixers fans were like Tobias Harris death threats more often than them even talking about like how great Maxey or Embiid was. Sixers fans are going to have to find a new person to send hate mail to. It goes down to like a situation where like if the Pistons weren't paying Tobias Harris, who else were they going to pay kind of thing. I feel like the draw for a Pistons team, right, and the state they're in, like the Cavs were in for a while, is like it's pretty rough. Not only is Detroit scenic, but they also they don't really have a clear path to contention within the next few years. So imagine being a quality average level player being told, how would you like to come here on a normal salary? You can walk the cities of Detroit and play 82 games a year if you're healthy. but your legacy will be huge within where we are. Dean with a nice up and under and one moving off ball. This I love this version of Dean Wade. Who's not confident? Not this version of Dean Wade. We're just gonna come up with new new alliteration for Dean. Dean the Destroyer, Demolisher, the Damager. Dude, it's in Dean, not Indeed. Come on, John Michael. You're the radio guy. I'm just some loser streaming. I shouldn't be coming up with your lines, John Michael. I haven't listened to Fear the Fro's latest one. I'll have to give it a listen. Friend of the pod. Well, former friend, I guess. I guess Tony and Jackson's Bontemps interview really spurned their relationship. I'm in the clear though. So Garland with a nice pass. Yep. Garland loves that bowling style pass. I love it. It's one of the ones that would a simple chest pass get the job done? Yeah. Yep. It was the point. Because you know who's the most threatening player in the league? Karis LeVert. That's a dude that you never know what he's going to do next. Meanwhile, the irony is he pointed at Isaiah Stewart, who literally tried to murder someone on the floor. You can't be threatening a good citizen like Isaiah Stewart like that, Karis. Not with your track record. First one of the season. How many times is John Michael going to explain the 3-second violation Jarrett thing? I would rather people be confused about it who haven't watched the Cavs before. Like, are we doing this for the league pass people who are randomly watching this game? I think one of the greatest joys in my life I could see is seeing the Jared Allen 3-second violation in real time. The game I went to, they did not. Karras, point at Stewart again. Show him that you mean business. You'll be the first player to get ejected for pointing. All right, dude. Tobias Harris is cooking now. Someone awoke the beast. I think it was because Spaceman was throwing jabs at him, calling his contract not worth it. Oh, hit his head, Brad. Jesus, pay a little more attention. Comfortable comfort. That's Brad. Not much J could do there. Yep. That's something I'd like to see more. Darius getting aggressive at the rim, using that frame. All right. Cade is loving that mid range. Oh, I liked the look though. He's just gonna own. I was gonna say I thought he was gonna hunt for the mid range off that roll. Yang, come on, man. What are you doing in the post? Yeah, this is uh what they call in the biz no bueno. I agree. Why is it taking so long for Ty Jerome to see some action here? To have a 12-point lead at the half turn into a 4 is not great. I'd probably take Merrill out at this point, honestly, and put Jerome in. It's been a rough 2 games for Merrill overall. It just hasn't found his groove, especially this game. Also, I feel like Mobley just has kind of faded out of this game right now. It's not necessarily the same looks we've been seeing for the past, well, for the last game. I was gonna say the past few, as in like preseason, but really that Raptors game was a completely different version of him. From the silhouettes, I can see that it's gonna be some version of a lineup with Mobley and and Mitchell. I plus 420 is kind of crazy. Not a gambling professional here, but emotionally hedge on Detroit. Dan, are you more likely to take the triple single for George Niang or hedge the Pistons money line at 420? Oh man, you know it's bad when Brad's calling out for a Coro. Merrill's still in. I don't know if I really understand that. Oh, with a charge. Yup. Dan, all you have to do is change your last comment from Merrill's been rough to Merrill's been tough. Because he standing in front of beef stew like that, that's wild. Is this where we see Mitchell kind of decide to put his foot on the gas? Oh, I mean, obviously. Huh? Ugh. Yeah, he tipped. The Cavs are hearing you. Oh my god. Oh! That wasn't on my bingo card for this game. A George Niang fast break pull up jumper. Obviously, Spaceman. I knew what you meant. When you think of the main dudes, Yang is somewhere on that list. If the NBA makes it so you can't make that finger gesture like the NFL. Oh, bang. Yeah, the NBA does the you can't make your the finger guns kind of thing. That should be a real interesting revelation. How are you supposed to celebrate threes? Yang would just be lost. Of course, we can't have nice things. Niang, main dude. If Niang's in the core four, then who's getting the boot? Whose core four membership expired? Niang has all four of the members. The core four is just it's the Niang or core four plus everyone else, and by the core four, Niang and the boys. Niang and the Yangettes. Niang and the Georges. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the angry podcaster. How do you just let that happen? Yeah, no, you held on to that for too long. Yeah, no, you did not. Technical. Yeah, no crap. Yeah, that looked real close, buddy. All right, well, 3rd quarter closed out well. I mean, technically a -1, but overall, things are looking good. The team looks a little vitalized going into it, and we start the game with an opening technical free throw. I mean, come on. What do you guys think for the 4th quarter? I think the Pistons would have to go on an offensive heater like what we were seeing in the 1st quarter in order for them to pull this one out. I just don't think they have the numbers. I mean, truthfully, they're gonna have to play some of their bench players at some point. Yes, Beasley can. He's in the Terry Rozier Hall of Fame of players that can burn the Cavs at any given moment. We're dialing in now, though. I've liked Mitchell really turned it on in the 3rd, which is kind of what we were expecting. I mean, he didn't really have a reason to push so hard going in through the half. I mean, everyone else was just on a whole nother level. I feel Mobley defensively obviously has been fantastic. Offensively, I'm a little not like upset's like too strong of a word. I guess disappointed that we're not seeing similar looks of him coming down on possessions as the trailer and just getting these awesome looks at the rim, going full speed, using that athleticism. But to nitpick a game in which you can't say he's played poorly by any stretch of the imagination, it's not bad. I get it. It's like a bang bang kind of thing, but I just feel like that was so in the really slow motion view that I have that Cade Cunningham didn't have, that looked pretty obvious. I agree, Spaceman. It's more just like I would rather the Mobley getting him going is more of something that's game to game, like something that's built into the plan. It so to the point where it doesn't feel like we're getting him going. We're just operating normal offense by running through him. I think Garland's someone that obviously after last game, the whole I feel like Mobley or Garland in general is just someone after last season we're gonna have to make a concerted effort to get him kind of easing into it. Dude, Fontecchio cannot buy a bucket today. It's good to see that other teams are having a Sam Merrill-esque performance today, except for that charge. I haven't seen Fontecchio pull a charge yet. Oh, well, speak of the devil. Bye, Sam. Is it Ty Jerome time? 'Cause- 'Time? 'Cause- 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 'Cause Oh, I heard Ty Jerome. Let's go, baby. We're cooking in the chat. Everyone get ready. That's unlucky. All right. Mobley on ball. Let's see what we got here. Yep. This is not ideal. The Mobley turning around looking like, please help, is a familiar sight. But not when you got Donovan Mitchell there. Left Tekio shoot. Okay. I agree. I'm glad that they didn't completely abandon it after. I mean, Mobley's had 2 possessions where he's bobbled the dribble and gotten a travel, but I'm glad that it hasn't deterred the staff from continuing that. These are the reps that are gonna pay down the road. Yeah, what? Hope you enjoyed your 1 basket, Fontecchio. Oh, apparently Beasley is a two-way player now. Hope Malik Beasley knows he just awoke the beast by blocking Ty Jerome like that. That's gonna be in his memory banks. The 2 cornerstones of the offense here. A Mobley Jerome pick and roll. Oh my God, Niang. Jesus. Whoa. Oh. All right. Yeah, that's a little obscure. Also, Ron Holland doesn't know that when you're a sedan and you get into a fender bender with the minivan, your car ends up demolished. Noted tough guy, George Niang. Dude, Fontecchio's fade is wild. I've never seen a fade that goes from here back. It's like trying to account for possible balding at an early age. Getting some ice minutes here. Oh, nice pass. Yup. Oh no. Holland. I'm fine with that. The only person we should be worried about on the floor at this point is Beasley and Ivy. It's all right to have a slight off possession for Jerome. I don't believe Wade's hurt. I'll do some mid commercial break research for you. I might have been distracted by the possible scrap between George Niang and Ron Holland. I'm not seeing anything of note that implies that Dean Wade is hurt, but if that changes, let me know. They could also just be waiting to push him for like the last like 6 minutes or so. If I don't see Wade before 6 minutes, I'll think something's up. Dude, that girl just darted that shirt at someone's face. The poll results are in. We all thought Ty Jerome was inducted into the Hall of Fame in the third quarter. He didn't see minutes, I think, till the fourth quarter. So, unfortunately for us, who voted third, we weep. I would imagine we're just gonna roll out the starting five for like the last 6 minutes. I would say we're oh, all right. Well, never mind. Tony Pesta, Ty Jerome, MVP of October at the next timeout. Tony, we've moved on past being MVP of months. We are Hall of Fame bound. He's heading to Springfield, Mass after this game. It's true. They don't need to attach a name to it. It could imply we all know that it might be for someone else, maybe Kyrie Irving, but we all know deep down it's for Ty. I'm interested to see what the how long they're going to roll this out for. We got Garland, Jerome, Okoro, Mobley, and Wade. So Wade is indeed, in fact, not hurt like the chat suspected. You would like to see Oh, nice. You would like to see Mobley be more willing to take that pull up. He had the range for it. I think a few times from the second half, he's had that look and then passed on it to go instead for a drive to the basket, only to pull around. It's really just nitpicking though to be like, yeah, I wish he did this instead as he delivers that pass that we just saw. But you know, Just trying to think of Mobley's development in the grander scheme of things. Here comes the used eraser on a pencil, Fontecchio. Nice pass. Swing it. Yep. Jerome using that frame. Oh, I would have ended the stream if Jerome made that. So I could be there for his induction speech after the game. Mm. Well, this will be the adversity he brings up in the speech. Yep, that's called efficiency, fellas. 1 point a minute. I don't know about that one. Kenny, looking chill, just enjoying life. You'd love that. He's like, I don't need to use the challenge. I'll wait. Yeah, the bonus is not ideal at this point in the game. The bench might struggle, but they do have shooters in their starting five. They surround Cade with a lot of options. Oh my god. Leaf. I don't know if I really felt that one was a travel, but looked like there was a little arm lock there. Yep, not ideal. These are not the moments we pray for, fellas. But it's Jalen Duren, so hopefully we don't pay too bad. Jared is back. Jared for Mobley. George is coaching up Ev on the bench, being like, I remember when I was in that same exact situation. I brought the ball up. I made my three on the pull up though. All right, Jerome. Yup. Kick it down. Splash it. Wade. Yup. That's what you love to see. That was the ball movement that we've been missing for a little bit here in the fourth. That's what we need. We need their 3-point percentage to kind of dip here. They're still shooting very well. They're just not shooting often. Yup. Here we go. Yup. Yes, sir. It's Dean time, baby. Do you think that they can do a dual induction? We could have Jerome and Dean Wade be there for Springfield by sunrise. It's kind of wild to me that they play the Drake Kendrick diss tracks uh in like public settings. I feel like there's a lot that has to be censored, especially around the content of the disses. I'm not going to go into the specifics, but the Kendrick side to Drake seems like a topic I wouldn't want to broach at a public event. I'm If you're wondering why I paused, it's because I see the great Dean adjectives, and I'm just trying to keep up the alliteration, but you guys are taking so many good ones. I don't want to disappoint you with the creativity that I can't really muster right now. Plus, I'm mesmerized with this amazing drummer crew. Dean the Dazzler, that was like mediocre at best. I'm not gonna say that was some of my best work, but and it was kind of sad it took that long for me to come up with it. So that was probably not worth the wait in the slightest. Yeah, I know. That wasn't great. I'm disappointed in myself, Dan. I honestly hesitated at even saying anything. Dean Wade for most improved. Ty Jerome for MVP. Evan Mobley for defensive player of the year. God, it's gonna be really boring for the rest of the league when the Cav takes home all the hardware. Dean looked at both options like, I'm good. Great feed by Jerome. We're so back. We never left, honestly. Oh, all right. Let's see what we got here. High pick and roll. No. Oh, you just love to see Garland go into the glass. He loves the scoop too. Yep. Get him off the three line. Honestly, there's not much more you could do there. Just too much rotation. Someone was going to get open. Just happy it became a two instead of a three. Look, man, I didn't know who Ty Jerome was until we landed in Toronto, but he seems like a cool guy when you get to know him. Thanks, Jarrett. Why does it look like Ty's not getting back in? All right, I guess we're trying to be. Oh, we got a Coro in. Interesting. Dean out for a Coro. Now that's an interesting wrinkle. Guess they probably want him on Cade then. I guess that makes sense. Yep. Yep. That's kind of what it's what you kind of get when you put Isaac in. I mean, it wasn't like there was really a shot there, but yeah, they're gonna just have him shadow on Kate. Nope, switch immediately. All right, got my analysis tracks. He's totally gonna stay on Kate. Oh, was this a slip screen? Never mind. But when you get stuff like that, it makes it all better. Oh, I thought Garland actually got that. Yep, Mobley, just bring it up, buddy. Yep. Oh, you had Tobias on you. Ugh. Full court press. Love that. Let's see how they react here. Where are they going to go to? Interesting. Don't know if I loved that. Wonder why he didn't feed it to Jarrett. Nice. It's still a decent amount of time left. The Pistons could make a run, so every one of these possessions matters here. Oh, wait. Now JB's going to throw out all that he can here. Throwing out the press. He doesn't really, unfortunately for JB though, personnel wise, there's not really any wrench he could throw in off his bench right now. I mean, outside of Beasley, but Beasley's I'm speaking more on the defensive end to try to halt the Cavs. They kind of are just working with their best group right now. But if the Cavs shoot themselves in the foot here by just taking contested mid-range jumpers all day, then who knows? Alrighty. Let's see what they're gonna run here. A double screen here. Oh my god. Oh, I'm not loving these last possessions. They're taking ill-advised shots. Emptying the bench. I even though obviously we're pulling out of this game with a win, you can't say that the play design in the last few. I mean, I don't know if it's really play design as much as it is execution, but you got two Mitchell heavily contested mid-range jumpers where he kind of just settled, and then Garland pulling up from deep like a 9-1-1 with 3 seconds on the shot clock is not ideal either. And a Mitchell airball to get that. And now the Cavs are clearing their bench. So I think, yep. The score won't indicate how ugly it is, but I'm pretty sure the Cavs have kind of, I don't want to say like floundered in the fourth quarter, but they've definitely stalled. That's for sure. Yeah, we have been at like 111 for two plus minutes. Shawn Michaels like, I know some of you rascals bet. Dude, Ty Jerome is feeling himself. Oh my God. All right, time for us all to hyper dissect the Jalen Tyson minutes for the remainder of this game and make an opinion on him. See if the pick was worth it based on these 50 seconds. Look at that screen Tyson setting. That's incredible. All right, I'm sold. The craftsmanship from Ty Jerome. Holland's dribbling looks a little rough, if I'm being honest. I didn't remember it looking that rough on the film, but the rivalry no one's speaking of, Jalen Duren and George Niang. Oh no, that was Paul Reed. Whoops. What a great way to end the feed. All right, Cavs win 113-101. I'll give you guys the quick rundown of the game real quick before we head out here. We got all right, leading scorer for the Cavs, tie between Donovan Mitchell and Dean Wade. Great team. Honestly, very even splits here. We got Garland with 13, Mobley with 16, Allen with 17, and then 19 and 19 from Mitchell and Wade. Bench, Jerome and Levert led the way with 13 and 9. Okoro put 4 points in. Yang had that one pull-up three that still kind of shocks me to this day, but managed to be, I think, the only player on the Cavs who finished with a negative plus or minus. So you do you, George. I don't care what anyone says. Plus or minus leader on the team here was Dean Wade. Fantastic. Great game for Dean. If the Junkyard Award was still being handed out, I think tonight's would go to Dean Wade. So on behalf of the Junkyard Pod, the Junkyard Dog Award will go to Dean Wade. On behalf of me, JB would be honored that I give it. Overall, though, thanks everyone for watching this stream. It's always a great time to watch games with you guys. I know going solo is probably not the most entertaining, but it was really fun to be able to interact with you guys and watch the game with you. So thanks for just standing by and enduring my blabbering for 4 straight quarters. And with that being said, go Cavs.